What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another video, and today guys we're going to be going away from Lost Ark for a little bit and covering a mobile game that you may or may not know even exists. Now, Exorcist and Island is what I'm talking about. It is based on a webtoon series called Island M. I personally never watched it, but I am really enjoying the game. It is a gacha style game, very similar to the 4-player teammates auto battle gacha with really good graphics and fantastic characters actually. And it's unique in a sense that the characters are actually provided to you through grinding, and the actual gear is what you do gacha on. So I know a lot of games do exist in this way, but I find this one to be a little more generous, and I'm actually been thoroughly enjoying the game. So what I want to do today, guys, is kind of start a new account with you as a guest and kind of go through what the game has to offer and why I think it's worth playing. All right, so currently, like I mentioned, it is for the iOS and for the Google Play Store. So let's go Payneblade Alt, call it that. And I do find this game to be refreshing in a sense. So it is a lot more difficult. It does take a little bit more time, but it is extremely friendly when it comes down to free to play, in my opinion. The graphic design is fantastic. The character design is great. And at the same time, the weapons are cool. And this is a Korean game. Okay, so if you know anything related to Korean games, it does require quite a bit of the grind, which again, if you don't mind doing on a daily basis, it's a quick one. You do get a lot of stamina back, which is kind of nice, and at the same time, it allows you to play the game on a frequent basis. Now, I'm going to show you guys a couple different things. I'm going to start making tutorial videos on this, like for example, how to use your gems, what to spend them on, because there's a lot of mistakes that you can make, what characters are really good to use and to work with, what characters you should go for first, because again, this is not a gacha game on characters, it's a gacha game on the actual equipment, right? So the story starts off pretty straightforward, guys. This really hot girl is looking to get a ride because she's an executive, and her driver essentially is driving her somewhere that she needs to go, and the story kind of begins from there. So you start off in Jeju Island, and I'm not going to show you guys everything here. We're going to go ahead and skip some of this just so we can get to the actual battle part, so you guys can actually experience the story yourself. I don't want to spoil it for you, but let's keep going here. You can see here it is a webtoon series, right? So you are going to get some cutscenes based on webtoons. It is based on exorcism and demons and such. So if that's kind of your thing, this might be right up your alley for a game. So we're going to go ahead and skip this, guys, and we'll show you the battles set up here. Now, I will say this. The one thing I don't like about this, I'm going to put the volume up for you guys. It's the actual voice acting in English. All right, it's not the greatest.
Like a perfect prey.
As you can hear, so I like to listen to it in Korean, but I'll leave it in English for you guys here.
Lust sucker before sunrise.
Okay, so we're gonna bypass this here, and it's cool because like the characters you get to use in this, it's not just waifus. There's husbandos as well too, obviously. So you guys have a mixed bag of great looking characters, and the way the characters work in this, it's an upgrade system. You start off with, every character starts off as normal grade, and then you can move up from that normal grade and get them to rare, then SRs, then SSRs, which is the final version of each character. And then they actually do change their forms, so that's not their final forms when you get them, obviously. So it's kind of cool in that regard. So I'll show you guys how this works. We're gonna go ahead and start off the actual story mode, and you'll get a feel for the battle. You'll understand kind of how the system works. Now it's not a turn-based game, but there is a bar underneath with your skills available, and as the bar fills up and you have enough of the actual energy, you can perform your skills. And then also every character has an ultimate, which has a cutscene, of course, right? So I'll show you guys how this works. So this is the first character you get. Pretty hot, huh? This is like the typical male fantasy kind of scenario, but she's actually a really good tank. So there are definitely supports, there are tanks, and there are DPS. They're clearly identified. And as you guys can see here, it is a 2D side scroller, so you will see mobs pop up here. And then there are waves. So there's the waves right there. 1, 2, 3. So there's going to be 3 waves with a timer, and then of course the stage with the actual title of the stage. And eventually you can unlock yourself the speed increase and the auto. Now there is no skip button in this game, so if you're big on skips, that's not available. You have to actually sit there and grind, but auto is available, of course, and you can do that through using auto repeat, which is fantastic as well. Some games that don't even have that. Alright, so you can see here the SP gauge at the bottom fills up. You can now use hero's active skill. So in this case, this skill here is going to pop off. There you go. And then, as I mentioned before, There is an ultimate for each character as well, and you can see their ultimate bars. I'll show you real quick here. Let's just skip this. The ultimate bars exist right above the character, and you'll see them in a diamond shape right there. Okay, so that will be available to you eventually. So here's Harang, and she is a support unit. Now, as you can see here, guys, there's actually elements available to the actual character. So this character here, she's a water element. Harang is a wind element. All right, so elements do matter, and there's the whole, you know how it works. Some elements are stronger than others. So wind is good against water. Water is good against fire. Fire is good against wind. And then of course there's the whole light and dark characters as well too. It is based on a 3-star system, of course. If you have victory, beat the time limit, and no deaths, you get 3 stars. As you progress and you continue getting 3 stars, you can unlock items that are given throughout the chapters. And then there's the drops here, guys. There's the crystals, and then the gear that you get from beating the levels. Now, I will explain to you, it's very, very important what to use crystals on. This game is not the most generous for crystals. It is F2P friendly because you can grind a lot of the work, but crystals should be used specifically for characters, and I'm going to explain to you guys how they should be used and where they should be used. So if you're interested in this game, definitely stick around, and we can talk about that in a different video. So we'll go to chapter 2 here, guys. They'll introduce a couple more things. Now, when you're doing this, keep in mind there is a stamina system, of course, right up here, 47 out of 50. There is a lot of gold. There's gold here as well, which is the currency you'll use to do almost everything in this game outside of summoning, and then of course the crystals for summoning. So there is normal mode, hard mode, and then I believe there's one other mode which I have not unlocked yet. And then when you're looking at this, guys, you can look at the strategy guide, which is what you require to get 3 stars, and then what the element of the boss is. Now, this is very important because if you have all water elements and you're fighting fire elements, of course you have the advantage. If you have all wind elements, the boss has the advantage, right? So keep that in mind when you're playing. All right, we'll start this off. That takes 3 stamina to do this. And again, the game is a typical gacha. The rates actually aren't bad for the weapons, so my recommendation when you first start this is don't go for weapons right away. I would focus on getting characters first, and I mentioned that earlier. They're very important to have. There's of course the whole exploration, which I will explore all the modes a little more thoroughly if you're interested. Here we go. So you can actually see her skill now. So she performs a shield, and you can see the blue bar underneath the character when the shield is performed. And there we go. Kill these off real quick. Of course, and now they're fire elements, so of course they're going to go after her. But being a tank, and if you attack the mobs, it's very important to have a tank in place. So the holy triad here does really matter. The DPS, tank, and healer is an actual thing in this game. So make sure that you guys have a tank available to you at all times, because the provocation right there is, should say provoking, but it is what it is. Bad translation. It does actually make the mobs attack the tank, and she's a water element, they're fire, so of course you have the advantage. All right, so next battle here, I'll go through a couple more. So you can see here, you can evolve. See, SR Boris becomes SSR Boris. The whole actual character changes, the whole look changes, the feel changes. Same with weapons. As you go from R to SSR, things do change. All right, you're new here, so this must be all confusing. Don't worry, just follow me here. You'll need to form your own team. Okay, so you can team edit. This is where you add your team, guys. As you can tell here, there's the normal rarity currently. Every character starts at that, okay? So you have to actually evolve the characters. So that's the kind of the beauty and the crux of this game. There's no need to summon for characters, but your characters all need to evolve from normal. So that's something that's a little different from most gachas, where it's your gear actually that can come from R to SSR that you can get. So the gacha actually sits on the gear, which I think is better because a lot of people like the characters more. People want to see the character design, want to play with characters and try them out. So I think in that regard, it's really good. Now, the character design is great, but the way to get characters I'm not a big fan of, because you actually have to talk to them and scout them, and then as you talk to them you get their favoritism, and you have to reach that favoritism to 100%. And the way to do that is you give them gifts on a daily basis, and you give them evolution items. Evolution items, we'll talk more about this, of course, more thoroughly. You can give only once a day, but gifts you can give the entire time. And it does require 10 gifts, and gifts aren't that easy to get. And this is why holding on to your crystals and understanding how to use them is extremely important, guys. All right, so this is the game. If you guys are enjoying the video and you kind of think this is up your alley, I highly suggest giving it a try. I will be making more videos on this game. Let's just finish up this boss here, and we'll move on. And I'll start making guides on, like I said, how to use crystals, how to farm gold, what to do with equipment, you know, how to get characters and what characters you should get first, because that's a key one. It's, you know, they're not cheap to get, but it is important to know what to get, and of course what to use through which stages and which characters or which teams are best to use in certain areas. Okay, so those are things I'll cover, but for now, that's the game. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, give me a like, put in a comment, and subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing more Exorcist and Island as we progress, and I'll be doing other gacha games as well too. Probably MHA, Ultra Impact. People seem to be really on that, and they want me to try it. Apparently it's very similar to Tribes, so I'll give that a go eventually, and as other games come out that are unique and gacha style games, I'll cover that, and of course Lost Ark and other console games will be covered as well too. Alright guys, this is Payne. Enjoy the rest of your morning. We'll talk soon.